that we have a general overview of how students can log in and access their SCS email account, let's explore how the student can use the integration between their email and Microsoft Teams to access the Teams application. Because we are a Microsoft district, students have access to many apps that are a part of the Microsoft integration. This allows students to have direct access to those apps through their SCS Emails app launcher. We encourage you to take some time in exploring the various apps available with your child's SCS Microsoft Office 365 account. Here, we have an example of what the student's email view will look like once logged in. By clicking the App Launcher, represented here as a 9-dot configuration, a list of the most frequently used Office 365 apps will be displayed. As you can see, the Microsoft Teams apps is located here. Once clicked, accessing Microsoft Teams by this method will automatically log the student into the Microsoft Teams application. Depending on the student's Office 365 view, the student may see the following screen upon login. If this view is shown, the Teams application will still be visible and accessible. Let's continue this exploration from a student's point of view. First, let's get started by going to office.com and logging in using the student's unique SCS email address. Now, let's put in the student's date of birth as the 2-digit month, 2-digit day, and 4-digit year with no separating marks between them. From this view, the Microsoft Teams application is located here. Because of the integration with Outlook and Teams, when clicking the Microsoft Teams application from their email's Office 365 account, the students will automatically be logged into the Microsoft Teams application. Once logged in, the Teams dashboard displays each of the students' classes, if they have more than one, as its own separate team. From the Teams dashboard, the student can click on the specified team or class to access that team's announcements, assignments, grades, and calendar. Please note, if the student does not see any teams or classes listed, it is possible that the teacher may not have activated the Teams pages yet for student view. Now, let's look into the functionality of the buttons located on the far left side of the Teams dashboard. The activity icon represents the notification center in Teams. If your child was mentioned somewhere in Teams, or if anything was done in a team that they need to be aware of, it will show up here. The chat button is where students can chat or communicate privately with the teacher or in a group during group discussions. The Teams icon is where most activities take place. This is where all of your child's classes or teams are located. In Teams, students and teachers can communicate through messages, share files, have video meetings, and with the rest of their class, among many other things. Assignments is where your child's assignments are located, and files is where all files shared in Teams are located. They can also access their personal OneDrive in this section as well. And then the calendar. This is only used if your child has added events to their school account calendar. Teachers may also post events, meeting times, and assignment due dates. Next, this highlighted area here is called the We Space. The We Space is a collaborative area in which information and content here are generally visible to everyone that is a part of the team. Students and their teachers can have conversations and discussions that everyone can participate in. Now that we have a general overview of the basic functions of the Teams dashboard, Let's dive even deeper into the other features that your student will utilize while navigating the Teams application. So now we are in Microsoft Teams from a student's point of view. Previously, we discussed the various functionalities from the buttons located on the far left rail of the Teams dashboard. Let's look further into a student's class team. Now that I am in the class team as a student, there are a number of features to pay attention to. Let's start at the top of the screen. This area located across the top of the screen is called the horizontal bar. This space is used as a quick access bar for students to easily access posts, files, their class notebook, assignments, grades, and any other instructional tabs that the teacher may add. Let's click each tab to get more information. The first tab is the Post tab. As you can see, we are already in the Post tab. Within the Post tab is the Conversation area. This is considered the we space. Any posts or files added to this area are viewable and accessible by all members of the class. This area is also used to view announcements from the teacher, engage in class discussions, and post responses or replies to conversations. The next tab is the Files tab. The Files tab is the central location for the documents that have been shared with the class, as well as documents that the student has collected or created. Students have the option to create new documents from several options listed here, as well as upload any existing documents from their device. You will also notice there is a separate folder within the Files tab that is labeled Class Materials. This folder houses the documents that the teacher has shared specifically for the students to review or view. Moving over to the next tab is the Class Notebook tab. The class notebook is the student's private workspace to create and organize their work. Each student will have their own notebook that is only accessible to that student and the teacher. Now we will move over to the Assignments tab. This tab is one of the main pillars of the student's class team. This is also the location where all of the students' assignments from the teacher are accessed. The assignment with the nearest due date is at the top. From here, students can click on any assignment to view the instructions for that assignment, the due date, and the points possible. The teacher may also provide a supporting document for the students to edit and submit as part of the assignment. Here is such an example. This assignment includes a Word document for the students to read the passage and answer the question that is included on the document. Before submitting for grading, and depending on the assignment instructions, the students can click the assignment to make any edits or attach any supporting documents. It is important to click the Edit Document button located here to open the document for editing. They can choose to edit the document with quick changes right here in the Teams application, or they can open the document in the desktop version of Word. We're going to make this document editable in Teams without having to open a separate application. As you can see, the document opens right up in Teams without leaving the application. As a student, I am following the assignment instructions and reading the passage carefully. Now, I am going to make my answer choice by highlighting my choice. Once I have completed this assignment, I am going to click the Close button located here. When editing the document in Teams, it is automatically saved once the student clicks Close. The Turn In button should be clicked once the student is ready to submit the completed assignment. The students received an animated confirmation that the assignment has been submitted, as well as a time and date stamp showing that the assignment was successfully submitted. The assignment will be graded by the teacher and returned to the student. The teacher may also provide feedback for the assignment and decide if it needs to be resubmitted for regrading. Moving over to the Grades tab, the students can access the Grades tab to view a list of all assignments. Under the Status column, the student can view the status of each assignment as well as the points received for any graded work. Assignments without points will show as returned after the teacher has reviewed them. This is a great way to stay up to date with all assignments and grades. Now, there will be times when the teacher may call for a live class meeting. When the teacher calls for a live class meeting, students will be invited to join the meeting via an invitation link. Or, if the teacher has already started the meeting, the students can find the meeting in the Post tab section in Teams. So let's go to the Post tab. As we can see, a meeting has already been started or is already in progress. In order to join the meeting, we would need to click the Join button here. Before joining the meeting, the student has the option here to enable or disable the camera on their device. Also, the student has the option to enable or disable their microphone. The teacher may initially instruct the students to disable both features to minimize any immediate distractions or background noises. So, I am going to go on and mute my mic before joining in. Upon entering the Teams class meeting or video conference, the video conferencing toolbar will be located on the center bottom part of the screen. If the toolbar disappears from view, just hover over its intended location and it will reappear. To help support your student with engaging in the class meeting, let's go over the icons from the video conferencing toolbar. Please note, some features of the video conferencing toolbar may not be widely used by students. Let's focus on the features and functionalities that may be utilized on a regular basis by students. The meeting or time log counts the duration of the time that the meeting has been going on. Next is the show or mute video. This allows the user to show or hide their webcam video. Next is the show or mute audio button. This allows users to turn their microphone on or off in the meeting. The teacher has the ability to mute all mics while in the meeting. Next is the screen share button. This allows students to share their screen while in the meeting. As you can see here, students have the options to share their full desktop or narrow it to sharing only a specific window. Students can also choose to browse their device for files to share while in the meeting. Let's move over to the 3-dot ellipses here to reveal the additional options that are available in the meeting. The Show Device Settings. This allows you to review and adjust your video source, audio source, and so on. The next option is the Show Meeting Notes. This opens a notes area where you can take notes for the meeting to review at a later time. The option to enter the full screen allows for the tabs on the far left rail chat to be removed. To disable the full screen view, just hit the Escape button located on the device's keyboard. Moving on to the three-dot ellipses, we go to the Show Background Effects option. This allows you to blur your video or select from virtual background options that you can add to the meeting. As you can see, there are several preloaded images to choose from. You can select from the options listed, or you can add your own image to be used as a background for your video while in the meeting. Now, let's look at the Turn On Live Captions preview. Once this feature is turned on, it will transcribe any voice that it hears. At this time, this feature is only available as a preview and is only available in English for now. So we will turn off the Live Captions button by going to the three-dot ellipses and clicking to turn it off. The next feature is the Turn Off Incoming Video. This will force all participants to enter the meeting with their video turned off. This can help to save on the bandwidth with Microsoft Teams while engaged in a live meeting. The next feature is the Hand Raise feature. This is a fairly new feature that is now available on the video conferencing toolbar. During a meeting, students can now raise a virtual hand to let the teacher know they want to contribute without interrupting the conversation. So we will turn this off once the student has been identified. The next button is the Chat button. This will show the text chat for the meeting participants. Teachers may use this space to engage the learner in discussions. Next, we have the participants view. This is where the students are able to see a list of everyone who is currently in the meeting. The last button is the End Call button. This ends the call or ends the meeting for the student as an individual. This does not end the meeting for everyone. The teacher has the ability to mass end the meeting for all participants. Now that we have gone through several features of Microsoft Teams from a student perspective, you should now be prepared to further support your student as they navigate through using the Microsoft Teams application. A very important note here for all parents is that you will still be expected to access your students' grades through the PowerSchool portal.